startup, I think there's an existential challenge, which is to survive.
We knew what needs to be done. We needed to raise money or do a deal.
We had been recommended to go and meet Rakuten, the Japanese e-commerce giant, and they had their head office in Silicon Valley. True to our values of frugality, we of course fly economy. Our CFO, Ankur, he had rented the smallest car possible. Ankur would not qualify as a Careem captain. His driving skills are absolutely atrocious. We go in for this pitch. Mudassir goes all in and tells a story about the region and how Careem is going to be super successful in serving all these customers. Gratefully, that became the beginning of a wonderful partnership with Rakuten.
We called ourselves a uni-camel, the first Middle East unicorn.
That public recognition, of course, feels good, but at the same time, this is really just an external signal.
Looking back, it feels big, but in that moment, it actually didn't feel so big to us.
When you're inside the company, you know all the things that are breaking or on the verge of breaking. And so you can see this external sort of recognition with a little bit of amusement.
We definitely celebrated it. We felt good about it.
I went around telling everyone, called my parents, saying, guys, we're $1 billion company, we're a unicorn.
We sat more or less in a
circle. Yes.
And we had some balloons and we had a cake.
Yeah.
And that was sort of like, okay, $1 billion, have some cake, and then get back to work.
We are always looking at the next challenge and the next frontier.
I think literally on the day after the announcement, because we said, let's not get all blinded by having $350 million in the bank, keep our heads down and keep doing the same thing.
Behind the scenes, the injection of capital only bought Careem another 2.5 years of operation.
The culture and the aspired culture was always focused around frugality. We have to use every dollar in a way that we get the highest return and we can stretch this money in the longest, for the longest possible time.
It was still the early days and the early beginning, and we just went back to our next ride.
The most significant thing that happened when we became a uni-camel was really how the outside world perceived us. And most notably, talent. We found the amazing tech people all around the world that said, wow, you're actually doing this in the Middle East?
It's great to show the region as well, that it's possible. A lot of people actually started dreaming about building billion-dollar companies. It's not a dream, it's a reality.
As Careem became part of daily life, governments across the region were questioning how the service should be regulated, or if it should exist at all.
Well, my first day was is a memorable one. Just a couple hours into trying to get a laptop and an email, one of my colleagues said, hey, there's a meeting with the RTA. This is your future role, so you should join me. The topic was, you guys are operating under no law right now, and this is not going to happen in Dubai. And I'm like, oh man, what did I just join?
It wasn't just in Dubai that Careem was facing regulatory challenges. Authorities in Egypt, Pakistan, and Abu Dhabi were taking a more aggressive stance.
This guy basically told me, look, you'll be shut down.
10 of our captains were taken by the police. An hour later, 5 more, 4 more.
So the next meeting was more to say, let us show you what we've done elsewhere, and let us show you how we're different from what you think we are.
When we were standing in court at the Islamabad High Court, the gentleman from the Transport Authority kept talking about carriage laws. The honorable judge paused the hearing and said, they're doing flying taxis in the US, and here you are standing in my court and talking about carriage laws. Go and work with these people, then go and meet lawmakers together and go create a new law.
Multiple people from Careem would join in meetings with the government to really ensure that they understood who was behind this company and what their intentions were.
Everyone was talking about Careem. Everyone was downloading the app. So if anything, it kind of helped build the brand and make everyone aware of the service that we were delivering.
Careem's success with regulators led to something previously unimaginable, a groundbreaking partnership.
RTA has this vision that they need to further the well-being of people living in Dubai, and they're very ambitious about it. But they didn't have the tech, and we didn't have the cars. That is the first time that a partnership of this nature was made.
Hala is the first partnership in the world between a government and a private entity that operates and runs a ride-hailing business.
We built Hala with a symmetry to Careem so that it could exist on its own, but it could exist within the Careem ecosystem. Hala and Limos combined, we now deliver more than 3.2 million rides per month. So it was well worth it.
Ever since I at least joined the company, we wanted to start new things. There were a couple attempts that were made before. At that point, we decided that, let's go out, give this as much oxygen that this needs, and see what happens. And we started with food.
Restaurants also were going through that pivotal moment of completely having a shift in where their business is coming from, suddenly having to become really acquainted with going online. The first principle we said is we're in this for the long term. This is not to really short for short-term profitability or any of that, but we wanted to focus on really transforming that business to whatever would be relevant years down the line.
In a few months, it was clear that this is working out. Not only the food as a business, but the construct in which we're working. That's when we started loading new use cases under that umbrella. And within a span of a year and a half, we gave birth to Food First, then came Order Anything, then came Careem Express, and then we gave birth to Grocery. So it was both a mix of a business decision, but more importantly, an operating realization that this is how we can incubate and fast-pace some of the ideas that we have. I think that is smack in line with what our purpose is.
Despite the success, in the shadows, Careem was a target.